What's up, guys? Welcome back to News Now, and today we're going to be talking about what's on my Android 2017. Now, this is a Galaxy S7 from 2016, and I have it temporarily while I am going to be in Korea, and I must say it's a very comfortable phone. It's fast and everything, and the software is great, but something just about the actual design. It's very comfortable. The curved back, the always on display, the stealthy black color too, I like that. The camera is amazing, and pretty much, yeah, I could see this being a pretty solid replacement to my iPhone. It's just I like iOS a little bit more. So without any further ado, let's get on with this video. Okay, so first of all, it's always on display. I have it on. It shows the battery percentage, the time, the date, and the day, as well as my most recently used apps, which include YouTube, messages, two others, and I do not know what that is actually. Alright, you turn the phone on and you actually get to see some of my notifications right here. So yes, I have camera in the bottom right and phone in the bottom left. I have email and I have YouTube notifications too, which you should set for my channels. So I do have a pin set up, but I'm actually just going to use my fingerprint. So here we go. Right now you can see that I have a lot of things, and it's a very different setup from what I had last year. The most notable thing you're probably going to say is that it's just organized differently. Yes, my apps are kind of like in an L shape almost, and I just sort of crammed everything, sort of like an app mosaic almost, on this page right here. And also I used to have 3 pages, now it's only 2, but we'll get to that later. So first of all, let's start with some of the apps. Most of them are probably familiar. You probably saw them from last year. I do have the same weather widget that I had last year. I love Samsung's default weather widget, and that still hasn't changed. So this weather widget will tell me the weather and things like that. It's very helpful. And then over here we have YouTube, Google Calendar, the stock phone app obviously, Google Photos, Naver Maps. Now last year you probably saw me using Google Maps. Well, in Korea it turns out Google Maps is not the most helpful app in the world, so Naver Maps instead is a very good replacement. We have Google Translate too, in case I get mixed up with my Korean. We have YouTube Music. Now again, this is also a different app that I was using last year. This is called YouTube Music. Last year I was actually using something called Google Play Music. I actually said I was trying it out. I did do an impressions video as well. But the problem with Google Music is that I didn't really like the UI, and I also didn't really like just the way that it was set up, and just in general it just didn't seem right to me. But with YouTube Music, it's actually much better. As you can see, once this loads, yeah, there's a lot of really cool videos. You can actually watch the music videos right in the app, and I also love that it shows some of my music as well. You can go check this out on one of my channels, Be Confused. So yeah, this is much better than what I used to have with Google Play Music, and so far I like it a lot more. Alright, moving on, we have settings, and the app does look a little bit different from last year because this phone I believe is running Android Marshmallow, although I'm not positive on that. I also have Instagram because that's like my most essential social media app. That, Google Plus, and Snapchat are my favorites. I have YouTube Studio so I can see your guys' comments. I also have Google Hangouts, which I also had last year. It's my favorite messaging app apart from iMessage, and I communicate with a lot of my friends this way. I also have Gmail. Now again, this is different. I did not have Gmail last year. I had Google Inbox, and I do like Google Inbox a lot still. It's not that I dislike Google Inbox. It's just Gmail offers a little bit more of a cleaner look, and it was a little bit confusing with Google Inbox. I just prefer Gmail because it's more familiar, and I just generally just know how to use it better. Moving on, we have the Google app. Now again, this is also different because last year I was using Google Chrome. Now why did I switch? Because Google Chrome, it just wasn't the same. Look at all the cool features you get with Google. You get like air quality, like come on, this is awesome stuff. All these cars, these Google Now cars, are really things that I love. And yeah, you get a lot of news that's tailored toward your taste. I've shown interest in Thor Ragnarok, so it shows some, these massive spoiler alerts for the upcoming movie, and I also showed interest in Justice League and Steppenwolf. So a lot of cool articles here, and obviously it just makes for a much better internet browsing experience. Alright, now moving on to the left, we have Google Play Store. That's where I download new apps and things like that. And then we have this stock camera app right there. And then we have this widget right here. This is Google Keep. Right now I do not have any notes, but basically it's just to keep my organizing life on point. So that's that. Now moving on, I have a Google Calendar widget right here. I might blur out that part right there, yeah, because it's personal information. I do have the stock clock app. Now I do not like most of Samsung's stock apps, as you probably saw. I do not use the messaging app. I do not use the stock photos app or something like that. I mean, I just generally try to stay away from Samsung stock apps, but in this case I do like the Samsung stock clock app. As you can see, you can set an alarm. It's very easy to navigate through. You also have world clock, stopwatch timer, and just a lot of really cool things that even some of them aren't on iOS. So I really do like the layout here, and I'm not switching anytime soon. And I do have KakaoTalk because a lot of my Korean friends do communicate through that app, and it's a very easy way to talk to them. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's nothing really past these two pages right here. If you want to go into my app drawer right here, I do have a lot of apps that I cannot uninstall, which is quite a shame. That's part of the reason I'm never going to get a Samsung Galaxy or probably any Android phone, maybe the Pixel, but most Android phones do come with bloatware, and which you cannot uninstall, which I do not like, whereas iPhones comes with pretty much none. So yeah, I guess the only apps that, do I use any apps here? I guess I do use the stock messages app because my parents and like other people who don't really want to communicate through Google Hangouts will have to communicate through the stock messages app, and that's fine. I do use it occasionally. Google Keep, the internet browser. Oh, that's like the most terrible internet browser I've ever seen in my life. Contacts I do use occasionally too, because I do sync all my contacts and everything, and that goes right there. I do not use the stock calendar app from Samsung. I just prefer Google Calendar, and that's pretty much it. Now the one thing that I do not have here, something that I had last year were too many messaging apps. I had Google Messenger, I also had Google Hangouts, and I had KakaoTalk, and I had the stock messages app, and probably others that I cannot remember right now. That's just way too much for me. So this year I just have Google Hangouts and Google and KakaoTalk, and I didn't really want to use the messages app, and I do not use it that often, but I do have it there when needed. Google Messenger really didn't serve any purpose. Plus, I was having issues communicating with people for some strange reason. I don't really know why, but they weren't able to read the text that I sent them through Google Messenger. So I just ended up scratching that off of my Android phone this year. So that's pretty much it. You can see it's a little bit more minimal than last year. I like to keep things simple. I don't really like to complicate my Android that much, but it is very nice, and I do like the layout. I do like the customization that you can apply to your phone, and it really shows, I guess, real personality and things like that. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.